What's going on YouTube? JT is Born here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're talking about Batman and Robin, issue number 9. This one is written by Joshua Williamson, with art by Simone DeMeo, with a couple pages, and then Nicolo Cismezia, I think that's how you pronounce it, doing a large portion of the issue as well. So this issue picks up after the events of the previous one. Batman was captured by Man-Bat, kind of held captive in his own little bat cave, and he's trying to, spread his little, bat serum or whatever across this, skies of Gotham. Meanwhile, Damian is at high school with Nika, Flatline, who went to school with him. I guess she just kind of just strolled right in, didn't have to do any sort of first day, whatever. She's just kind of at school with him. And she wants to find some means to kind of get into detention so that way he can figure out what's going on with Mistress Harsh, his old teacher who he thinks the principal is at. And then we also have Miss Hall right here, who we also find out who she is later on in the issue, trying to contact him. And there is one moment here where Flatline's like, well, to get into detention, we could always start a fight. But Damian's like, no, I promised my father would not fight anywhere here. I could risk our identities being uncovered. Yeah, with Flatline looking just like that, very different from everyone else, kind of raises some red flags, but it is what it is. It's the DC universe. But anyway, so she throws something, they start a food fight at school, the principal is angry, and then Damian gets detention, and he's able to kind of get out of her that she is in fact Mistress Harsh, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she is Shush, who we later find out is none other than Miss Hall, who was an apprentice of Thomas Elliot, and she worked for him, and then she lost her medical license and all that, so she tried to kind of clear her name in that by, kind of changing the Hush name to Shush and kind of doing her own thing, and she then is kind of seeking some sort of redemption, if you will, by trying to tell Damian where his father is at to kind of go save him. Nika agrees to kind of watch over her and Mistress Harsh, while Damian goes and investigates where his father's at, where eventually he tracks him down based on the map that Shush gave him, and he's located here, and he's going to spread some poison across the streets of Gotham, if you will. So that's the issue in a nutshell. So the artwork this time around, now it is interesting because this is the first issue that seemingly has both of the main artists on this book kind of working on it, and I feel like Nicolo's art's a lot more expressive, and it kind of helps with the facial expressions and just different kind of anime-esque moments like that. So I kind of like that style just a little bit more, but Simone's artwork too, it looks nice as well. It's just sometimes when everything's kind of on the page, it gets a little busy and kind of hard to tell at times. I think it's more sort of the coloration, but I could pretty much tell most of the stuff that's going on here. So the reveal of Miss Hall as Shush, if you will, like I said, it was either her or the teacher, but it is kind of interesting that Mistress Harsh has nothing really to do with Shush. So, I mean, they were kind of basically setting up as either her or her, but now that's kind of one of them's, clearly Mistress Harsh and the other one Shush, and they seemingly have nothing to do with each other. That kind of leaves things a little bit more interesting. Like I said, the mystery around Shush wasn't all that, I guess, so exciting, because it's just something that we kind of expected. It's either her or her. I mean, they were the only two logical candidates, but Miss Hall was genuinely trying to be nice to Damian this whole time, and it makes you kind of wonder and question a few things, if you will. So yeah, so I did like the bits of them in school. I do feel kind of disappointed that it just kind of gets cut off right here so quickly, because the stuff with them at school and having Nika there, we didn't really take full advantage of it, because we have kind of one page where they're just kind of at lunch and they start a food fight and kind of having fun together, and then immediately he's thrown into detention. Now, I get it, the Batman's kind of, we got the stuff with Man-Bat and all that, but I would have liked to have seen a little bit more, and it is satisfying to see Damian kind of kick the crap out of his bully, and he just kind of does so rather easily, because Mistress Harsh or whatever kind of has the students and that working for her, under her guidance-ship, but they're still not really good enough, and Damian of course calls her out on being a terrible teacher and all that, and just gets right underneath her skin. She does threaten to kind of shoot him at one point, but Shush kind of gets in there and just kind of takes her down from behind. So, and of course she has fighting abilities, but since she was injured in her fight with Man-Bat, and she feels kind of guilty about it because Batman had saved her, and she's kind of working things off, and you have Flatline kind of looking out for him. So I do wonder if we'll get a reveal that maybe Flatline knows who Shush and all that kind of is, and maybe there's going to be working together in some potential fashion. Probably not, but it's just, something on the back of my mind. I am looking forward to the next issue, because we're finally getting some Damian and Bruce interactions once more. I feel like that's been one of the big strengths of the book, but here I feel like this one, went along rather quickly, and it moved at a fast enough pace to where things moved along, quite well, if you will. So, but yeah, there's some good elements to it for sure. Is it my favorite of the run? No, not necessarily. I do feel kind of disappointed we didn't really get enough of Damian and Flatline in school with all the stuff that's kind of going on with them. I would have liked a little bit more of that kind of fun, I guess a little bit of slice of life vibes. But again, this is a superhero comic. You got to find the time and place for it all. And I'm like, oh, her joining his school. Like, I can't wait to see them take full advantage of that. Well, she's immediately kind of like thrown into detention. Now, granted, this is only the first issue of her at school, but so there's the potential that she could be there a little bit more doing other stuff, but only time will tell. So, and plus, we also have the whole soccer kids and all that, and Damian's rival, and this isn't over Wayne and all that other shenanigans. Like, is that the last we've seen of them? Is he still going to stay in soccer? But most importantly, is Batman going to be okay? So we got all those different moving pieces going on at once. So there is something pretty decent in here. The issue did, because it is a lot of the Williamson stuff, it does fly by rather quickly, and I would have liked it to just kind of be a little bit more. But again, this is only issue 9. I'm still enjoying Batman and Robin overall as a series. I like the Robin book a bit more, but I feel like we kind of have a little bit of missed potential with this first issue, but I'm still going to kind of wait and see where it kind of goes. Maybe Flatline sticks around a little bit more with school, because we still have that whole thing with Ra's al Ghul, like, in her head, and she's seeing him as a ghost, so she hasn't talked to him about that. But maybe after this whole Man-Bat situation is kind of taken care of, then everything will kind of wrap itself up in a nice, neat little bow. So, yeah, those are my quick thoughts on it. I thought it was a decent issue overall. Not the strongest of this run for sure, and I do feel like there is some missed potential going on here. But again, it's only issue 9, and we only kind of scratched the surface of Damian being in school with Flatline as one of his classmates. So, and yeah, he did mention one point about like risking their identities, but I feel like all the red flags he's got going on here is kind of risking it. But that's just me. So, but at least we get a little bit more of his intelligence kind of showcased. But at least it's better than what's going on in the Zdarsky stuff with the way Damian was kind of written in there, where he was not very intelligent. So I'm not sure how the continuity of all this stuff works, because we got Detective Comics and all that going on at once. But I'm just like, where does what take place anymore? So, because Bruce is written so differently in here than he is in those other books, and same goes for Damian. So I'm just gonna like mostly stick with this one, because out of the 3, this one I think is the best, and then probably Detective, and then the main Batman book in kind of last place. Not really enjoying all the stuff that's going on in there. So, but then we got Absolute Power and all that as well coming out soon. So we'll see how it all turns out. I want this book to kind of pick up a little bit more, get a little bit more exciting, because I feel like I really like the Robin book more than Batman and Robin, but there's still some good elements here. The strength for me is the moments where it's Bruce and Damian outside the cape and cowl, and seeing that relationship kind of like, forming a bit. It is nice to have Flatline back in the book. I think she adds a little bit of a spark, and there's an interesting mystery going on with her and Ra's, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that unfolds. So, but we get some nice moments in here, and the reveal of Shush, like I said, it's not too much of a surprise. I figured it was either Mistress Harsh or his principal or his teacher. It had to be one of the two, because they were legitimately the only 2 candidates, and we do get her origin and all that, so at least it was nice to kind of understand why she's going to. I still think Shush is a dumb name, but that's just me. Now, with Mistress Harsh there, I do kind of wonder, since they're kind of 2 separate things and not together in any shape or form, that's what's kind of interesting now. Okay, so why is she here? Now we know there's a Shush, but this is a whole separate thing entirely, so we'll see what happens there. But anyways, what did you think of Batman and Robin issue number 9? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications, other fun stuff. That's going to wrap it up for the Batman-focused comic book reviews. I still got the latest chapter in House of Brainiac, which I'm going to try and get out by today as well, so it may be these later on today. But I still want to kind of get that one out there and kind of get my thoughts across with that one. So, but anyways, that's all I have to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.